right, so number 10. Romans used human urine as mouthwash every single morning. And not just any urine, they imported it from Portugal. Because apparently the local stuff wasn't good enough. I need you to understand, this wasn't some weird fringe thing. This was mainstream Roman dental hygiene. Your teeth looking a little yellow? Gargle some from the Portuguese. Doctor's orders. And I know, this sounds like something a 7th grader made up to mess with a substitute teacher. But there were trade routes for this. Ships full of pee crossing the Mediterranean. Someone had to collect it. Someone had to transport it. Someone had to do quality control on yellow bottled shipments. I don't know who woke up one morning and said, you know what? This local urine just isn't cutting it anymore, but someone did. And then someone else agreed, and then it became an entire industry. The logic was that ammonia whitens teeth, which, okay, technically true. Ammonia is a bleaching agent, so they weren't completely insane. They just hadn't invented toothpaste yet. Or dignity. Emperor Nero's physicians prescribed this. Nero. Wealthy families had servants whose entire job was urine collection. And the Roman government, they saw all this happening and went, we can tax that. There was a urine tax on pee for mouthwash. The poet Catullus, real guy, famous poet, roasted another poet named Ignatius for having teeth that were too white. His burn was basically, yeah, your teeth look great because you've been chugging pee, you absolute freak. This was high society trash talk in poetry about urine consumption. Cool. Totally normal civilization we base democracy on. But that's genuinely one of the least weird things on this list. Number 9. Victorian women ate arsenic on purpose every day for beauty. Not accidentally, not secretly. They bought it at pharmacies. The box said arsenic, and they thought, yes, this is the thing I want to eat with breakfast. They were called complexion wafers. And the advertisements, yes, there were ADs, promised a brilliant complexion and the bloom of youth. From arsenic, the thing we now associate exclusively with murdering people. The logic was, and I cannot stress how insane this is, arsenic kills things, including whatever makes your skin look flushed or ruddy. So if you slowly poison yourself, you'll look pale and beautiful and ethereal. And also dead, because you will be dead from the arsenic. Side effects included hair loss, nerve damage, and, oh yeah, death. But Victorian beauty standards were apparently worth dying for. Literally. Women were literally dying for cheekbones. One coroner in 1851 found a woman's body so saturated with arsenic it hadn't decomposed normally. She'd been eating these things for 15 years. 15 years of daily poison consumption for skincare. And nobody thought this was weird. It was just skincare. Victorian skincare was just eating poison and hoping for the best, which honestly explains a lot about Victorian literature being so obsessed with death. Everyone was dying because they were eating arsenic for beauty. But the Victorians weren't even the worst at poisoning themselves. Number 8, mercury. For everything. Got syphilis? Mercury. Feeling sad? Mercury. Baby's teeth coming in? Give that baby some mercury. Headache? Mercury. Stomachache? Mercury. Any symptom at all? Have you tried? Mercury. They called it blue mass or calomel, and it was in everything. Pills, powders, ointments. If you saw a doctor in the 1800s, you were walking out with mercury. That was just how medicine worked. Abraham Lincoln, the Abraham Lincoln, took mercury pills every single day for melancholy. And historians now think his famous mood swings and rage episodes weren't personality traits at all. They were mercury poisoning from his medicine. The President of the United States, potentially driven insane by his own doctor. And the doses weren't subtle. We're talking amounts that turned your gums blue, made your teeth fall out, caused uncontrollable drooling, severe tremors, memory loss. Doctor saw these symptoms and thought, yes, the medicine is working. No, those are poisoning symptoms. Your patient isn't getting better. Your patient is being poisoned by you with mercury. And here's the thing, mad as a hatter. That phrase, that's from hatters going literally insane from mercury exposure. Mercury was used in hat making. Hattos breathed it in all day, and they went crazy. Visibly, obviously, can't ignore it crazy. We had an entire profession losing their minds. We had a phrase about it, and we just kept using mercury for everything for 200 years. Nobody thought, hey, the hat guys are all going insane from this chemical. Maybe we should not eat this chemical? For 2 centuries, that thought did not occur to anyone. But mercury was at least supposed to be medicine. Misguided, but trying to help. Number 7 was just recreational. Cocaine. In everything. Coca-Cola, obviously, it's in the name. But also wine, cigarettes, throat lozenges, and my personal favorite, cocaine toothache drops marketed directly at kids with adorable little illustrations of happy children playing. The slogan? Instantaneous cure for 15 cents. You could buy cocaine for your toddler for less than $1 in today's money at the pharmacy. No prescription, no questions. Just, yes, hello, I would like some cocaine for my child's gums, please, and they'd hand it right over. Pope Leo XIII, the Pope, endorsed a cocaine wine called Vin Mariani. He didn't just try it, he gave it a gold medal. He appeared in their advertisements. There are pictures. The leader of the Catholic Church doing cocaine wine ads in the 1880s. Sigmund Freud, father of psychology, guy we still talk about, wrote papers calling cocaine a miracle drug. Prescribed it to patients, to friends, to himself. Constantly. His colleague Ernst von Fleischl-Marxow got addicted and died from the cocaine Freud recommended. Freud's response? Unfortunate. Your great-great-grandparents might have been doing cocaine legally. Casually. For cucks. Oh, little Timmy has a sore throat. Give him some cocaine drops. He'll be fine. But at least cocaine didn't pretend to be serious children's medicine. Number 6? That's exactly what it was. Bayer. Yes, that Bayer. The company that makes aspirin. The one with the logo you recognize. Sold heroin. As cough medicine for kids. 1898. Bayer Pharmaceutical Products introduces a new product. They call it heroin. Not a street name, not slang. The actual official trademarked brand name. They named it heroin because early test users reported feeling heroic. And they marketed it aggressively as a safe, non-addictive alternative to morphine. Non-addictive. Heroin! They printed that in medical journals, and doctors believed them for 12 years. Heroin was prescribed for coughs, for colds, for respiratory issues, and I cannot stress how absolutely insane this is as a treatment for morphine addiction. Oh, you're addicted to morphine? That's terrible. Here, try this stuff called heroin. Totally different, completely safe. It was not different. By 1910, the medical community finally noticed all these patients seemed to be really into this heroin stuff. In a bad way, and Bayer just quietly stopped production, changed the subject, kept making aspirin like nothing happened. Same name, same company. I think about this more than I should. Okay, so I'm noticing a pattern here. Everything so far has been some version of people put bad stuff in their bodies because a guy in a coat said it was fine. Which, yeah, that tracks for humanity. But number 5 is different. Because by this point in history, they knew. They absolutely, definitively, without question, knew better. People drink radioactive water every day for health. The 1920s. Marie Curie had already discovered radium, already won 2 Nobel Prizes, and was already, visibly, obviously, dying of radiation exposure. Her notebooks are still so radioactive, they have to be kept in lead-lined boxes. You need protective equipment to read her diary. And the public response to all this was, ooh, radium sounds fancy. It glows. Let's put it in everything. Radium toothpaste, radium face cream, radium suppositories. And yes, that's exactly where you think those went. Radium chocolate, radium bread. There was a company selling radioactive water as a daily health tonic. The big one was called Radioactive, certified radioactive water. Slogan was, a cure for the living dead, which, in retrospect, was more accurate than they intended. Eben Byers, wealthy socialite, drank an estimated 1,400 bottles over 3 years. More than a bottle a day. When he died in 1932, his jaw had literally fallen off. The radiation had eaten through his bones from the inside. The Wall Street Journal headline, and this is real, was the radium water worked fine until his jaw came off. An editor approved it. It went to print. Anyway, if you're enjoying this slow descent into questioning everything, hit subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment telling me what modern thing you think will be on a list like this in 100 years. Okay, where were we? Right, eating corpses. Number 4. Europeans ate mummies. Egyptian mummies ground up into powder as medicine. From the 1400s through the 1800s, ground up mummy was a totally normal pharmaceutical ingredient. They called it mumia, and you could buy it at any apothecary. Just walk in and purchase some dead Egyptian person to consume. Headache? Mummy powder? Stomachache? Mummy powder? Bleeding that won't stop. Just stuff some mummy in there. King Charles II of England had his own personal mummy supply. Not just mummy medicine, a collection. Multiple mummies. For personal consumption, the man had mummy standards. The demand got so high that Egypt started running out of ancient mummies, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. There was a mummy shortage for the pharmaceutical industry. So what did merchants do? They started making new mummies, fresh ones, out of executed criminals, out of slaves, out of whoever they could get. Which means some people in the 1600s were eating recently dead humans and calling it healthcare. And that was just commerce. The practice only stopped because mummies got too expensive. Not because anyone thought, hey, maybe eating dead people is weird. The price went up, people found other things, moved on. But here's what gets me about number 3. Everything before this, people didn't fully understand what they were doing. Romans didn't know about bacteria. Victorians didn't understand toxicology. The radium people were dealing with new science. Number 3, they watched people die in real time from the thing they were doing. And they kept doing it anyway. Queen Elizabeth I wore lead-based white makeup every single day of her reign. It was called Venetian ceruse, white lead mixed with vinegar, and it was the beauty standard. The paler you looked, the more aristocratic you seemed. And nothing made you paler than slowly poisoning yourself with lead. Elizabeth knew it was dangerous. Her advisors knew. Everyone in court knew. Hair loss, skin damage that got worse the more you covered it, tooth decay, muscle weakness, paralysis, madness, death. Women watched other women die from this makeup, attended their funerals, and then went home and put on more lead makeup. Weird. And it got worse. Lead makeup cracks and flakes as it dries, so women applied more layers to cover the damage, which caused more damage, which required more layers. They were trapping their faces in expanding tombs of poison. One French courtesan, Kitty Fisher, died at 26 from lead poisoning. She'd been using it since she was a teenager. 10 years of daily exposure, and everyone knew exactly why she died. Did they stop? No. They said nice things at her funeral, then went home and put on more lead makeup. But everything so far happened a long time ago. Different era, different understanding, easy to feel superior. Number 2 hits different. Shoe-fitting fluoroscopes. X-ray machines in shoe stores for trying on shoes. From the 1920s through the 1970s, shoe stores had X-ray machines that kids would stick their feet into. You'd slide your feet in, look through a viewfinder, and watch your own skeleton wiggle its toes to see if the shoe fit. These weren't rare. Over 10,000 of them in the United States alone. Every major retailer had one. Come to our store, we have the machine that lets you see your bones. Kids loved them. Of course they did. Parents let kids play with these machines while waiting. Not one X-ray per visit, multiple. For fun, just casually irradiating their children while shopping for shoes on a Saturday. The radiation doses were insane. Some machines measured at 300 times what we'd now consider safe. And kids got multiple exposures per trip. Multiple trips per year. Year after year. Shoe salesmen had it worse. Standing next to these things 40 hours a week for years. Some developed radiation burns, skin ulcers. There are documented cases of salespeople needing leg amputations. And here's the thing, Hiroshima had happened. Everyone knew what radiation did. But X-raying children to sell loofers? That was just retail innovation. They weren't fully banned until 1970. 1970. Your parents might remember these. Your grandparents definitely do. They were casually irradiated as children at the shoe store because a salesman wanted to prove the Mary Jane's fit. And the last one? This one made me genuinely angry. Because it wasn't ancient history. It wasn't misunderstanding. There is footage of this.
You can pull it up on YouTube right now. Number 1.
We sprayed children with DDT on purpose for fun. DDT, a pesticide so toxic it's now banned in most of the world. And from the 1940s through the 1970s, we sprayed it directly onto human beings, including children, especially children. Government trucks would roll through neighborhoods pumping out massive light clouds of DDT fog. And kids would run toward the trucks, chase them down the street, dance in the fog like it was a summer sprinkler. Oh boy, here comes the poison truck. Let's go play in it. And parents just waved from the porch. Have fun, sweetie. Don't forget to inhale deeply. There are videos of this. Actual footage. Children laughing and spinning in clouds of industrial pesticide. It looks like a horror movie, but it was just summer. Beaches had DDT spray stations. Families would line up voluntarily to get blasted with chemicals before swimming.
Welcome to the beach!
Before you enjoy the ocean, please step into our poison chamber. And people did. Happily in their swimsuits, just fully exposing as much skin as possible to the toxic fog. The ads, and there were so many ads, showed smiling mothers spraying DDT directly onto kitchen counters. One ad had a cartoon housewife surrounded by dancing farm animals with the slogan, "DDT is good for me." I need you to understand, that was real. An actual company paid actual money to print "DDT is good for me" next to a cartoon cow. And nobody in the room said, "Hey, should we maybe not?" They sprayed it in school cafeterias while kids were eating. Oh, don't mind us, just fogging the room with pesticide. Keep enjoying your meatloaf. They sprayed daycares, swimming pools. Summer camps would aerially spray campers as a mosquito treatment. Just crop dust a field full of children and call it healthcare. The army sprayed entire towns as experiments without telling anyone. Just, hey, let's see what happens if we coat this whole Georgia city in chemicals. And then presumably went to lunch. And here's what gets me. We knew pesticides were dangerous. That was the whole point. DDT kills things. That's its job. But somehow the logic was, yes, this chemical is so deadly it wipes out entire insect populations. But Jimmy can just eat it. Jimmy's fine. Ginny was not fine. In 1962, a marine biologist wrote a book called Silent Spring. Exposed exactly how dangerous DDT was. The environmental devastation, the birth defects, the cancer risks, and the chemical industry's response? They called her hysterical, questioned her sanity, said she was probably a communist. Because nothing says valid scientific rebuttal like, yeah, but what if she's a communist though? EDT wasn't fully banned in the US until 1972. 1972. That's not ancient history. That's the year The Godfather came out. Your parents might have been sprayed with this stuff. There's a decent chance someone in your family has fond memories of chasing the poison truck. Oh, those were the days. Running through the DDT fog with all the neighborhood kids. Billy's gone now, but we had fun. So, urine mouthwash, arsenic skincare, mercury for everything, heroin for toddlers, drinking radiation, eating mummies, lead makeup, X-raying children, and chasing the poison truck for fun. All of it was just Tuesday. For your ancestors, which means right now, today, we're doing something that people in 100 years will find absolutely insane. Something we think is normal, something the government says is safe. Something we do to our kids without thinking twice. We just don't know what it is yet. Sleep tight.